All right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day 105. So, once again, there is no update on the Ren eviction situation. Still waiting for the October 6th hearing, which I guess is it's a couple months away, so we still got some buffer time before I'll be distracted with that. So I mentioned the last few days that my goal was going to be to try and push to get to the next release of the terminal block mining game with they would hopefully have all the fancy performance improvements that I wanted. I've been thinking it's taking too much time to get to that, and I should probably also prioritize some work on videos. So I'm thinking maybe starting tomorrow, I'll maybe focus a bit more on the next video idea during the day, and then I'll just I'll maybe slow down on working on this off a stream and just make it an on-stream thing for the next little while. Yeah, in terms of the continued work, so one big issue was to figure out where when I did the major refactoring on the screen layer merging, I introduced a bug somewhere or in a couple of places that kind of broke stuff and messed stuff up. So today I actually figured out where a couple of those big bugs were. So one was an issue with invalidating screen layers when I closed the help menu. That was what was making the help menu stick around. And then the other one was so I added like a fancy feature so that when the screen updates, it updates. There's a data structure that keeps track of screen areas to update, and when I refactored the function, I forgot to clear the pending screen regions when I merged them, so it was just accumulating, and so like every single time it would render anything, it would iterate over all screen regions and it ever iterated over before, and that was really slowing down performance. So I removed that. I was thinking about adding like a fancy screen update area debugging feature. I don't know if I'll get around to that. I'll probably try to prioritize getting the multi-column character merging finished, and then I need to add some new content. I think the existing content is getting kind of repetitive. Rick Brown, James, how's it going, Robert? Wish you well. Thank you. We are doing well as well. Yeah, so I also so in the last couple of days I got the screen layer merging working pretty well. So it works with single column characters and also nulls, and I also have test cases to go with it. So that's a huge step forward, I think, too, because now I can start like refactoring the function aggressively to try and make it faster, and I won't have to worry about introducing all kinds of subtle bugs. But the next step on actually supporting multi-column characters in the merging, for that I'm probably going to have to refactor the test cases themselves because they're kind of convoluted, and that's I guess what I'll work on stream for the next few days. Yeah. What is that? A Roman numeral 2? And then I can't tell what that icon is. Oh, it's music? Looks like ice or something? I'm not sure. Can someone see what that the second one is a musical note. Right, so we'll build and run. First is the wind face emoji. Wind face music. I'm not sure how to interpret that. Okay, so here's what the performance looks like now. Oh, and I guess this is actually the first version of this where I've swapped out the block, that just like green square block, for an actual emoji character, where it actually renders like not horribly slow. You can see there's still some issues with even though I don't quite support multi-column characters, it's still working pretty good. You can see up in the border it's getting messed up sometimes. I think the changing the player icon, that's like a simple difference, but I think it honestly is a pretty killer feature. And the extra work, like part of the reason I went to all this extra work to do this layer merging thing was to better support the case. So like I don't have to have a background. I don't have a fixed background color behind the icon. So this way it actually looks like the emoji is moving onto the, like he's seamlessly moving between them, but it has to smartly change the background color to whatever's underneath. Now, having said this, there are still bugs. So the layer merging is not working there. Oh, actually, I think these are single column on this machine because it has I think it has this version of Ubuntu only returns a width of 1 for the rocks. Yoshikaga says, "Hello world, how's it going?" Today I fixed one of those really awful performance bugs that was just kind of sitting there for the longest time. You made this game yourself? Yep. It took quite a while. They just released a new AI today, full PhD certified. Nice. Yeah, I still have to get around to trying out these coding tools. Interesting. Is it really a big step forward? More like firefighting than programming. I guess depends. If you work on the DevOps team, that's what it feels like. GPT-5. I haven't tried Cloud Code, but I've used Cursor, which is just VS Code skin, using other LLMs and stuff. GPT-5 came out. It's all right. It's like all the features of the previous models from AI put into one kind. Demonstration video for GPT-5. They should have did a better demonstration and made it look like 1920s ad. Interesting. I never even heard of this announcement. Elixir sends $1. Thank you very much. $1 US. Hello, how's it going? Using Cursor, I converted some part of an open source origami fold pattern generator that was written in Mathematica stuff into Python and some libraries, since I didn't want to pay for Mathematica. It was a live stream. It was so 1920s that literally thought the whole video was AI. Wow, we got another super chat. Milpreet K sends GLHF. What does that stand for? GLHF? And congrats, that's your first super on a live stream. Audience in front ground, and then with fake laugh in the background. That's weird. Took me a day and $40 of credits. I was being lazy and testing limits of LLMs for translating code. That's expensive. $40. Oh, it's just a sticker that was $3. That must stand for something. Probably good luck. Good luck something. 2 step closer to the $12 billion project. Actually, we're 4 steps closer already. Oh wow. Today's crazy night. We're getting another super chat. Thank you very much to Bradley for the $1. Good luck. Oh, good luck. Have fun. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Would it be considered an abuse of YouTube TOS to send 20 individual super chats instead of one $20 super chat? My guess is it probably wouldn't be a violation of the TOS. I think if you make your credit card processor might flag you or something for that. It sounds like the kind of thing that would trip some sort of payment thing, some kind of fraud detection system. Would have been a lot less than $40 if I didn't manual coding to do all the minor fixes. was trying to see if I could get the LLM to self-correct its errors, which it's often not great at. Yeah, I've heard that seems to be one of the big issues with it. Like the first time you ask it for an answer, you're getting close to like the global maximum, and if you ask it again, it'll like seems to just, you know, maybe gives you something slightly better, but if it doesn't get you pretty close to 100% the way there the first time, it'll just bounce back and forth between different local optima and give you different wrong answers. Just use 20 different cards. That's a lot of work for the mischievous task, the mischievous endeavor of sending super chats. Sometimes for even trivial things like flipping names of two plots, it can take many attempts. And if every attempt is 30 cents, yeah, stuff like that is, I mean, on one hand, the stuff AI is producing is incredible, but then there's counterexamples like that where that's like, you know, can you imagine every time you misspell something, or like, you know, swap the parameters in a program, you have to pay 30 cents. For some things, I tried to get it to write out a self-test so it would check and keep reiterating against the test. Yeah, I think the right way to use them might almost be like a totally new way of programming. This is one of the things I'll have to experiment, but like with my approach to writing this like column merging thing, I find that if you can come up with good unit tests, if you have good unit tests and an implementation that does high coverage, you can kind of use the unit tests and the application itself as a pivot. You can pivot them off of each other, so you can like, you know, you can like refactor and improve you can keep the application fixed and then refactor and improve your test cases. And then when you rerun the test cases, if test cases fail, then that means you have a bug in the test case. And then once you like commit that and solidify it and maybe add some new functionality to the test case, so there's some new coverage, then you run the application against it. And then anything that fails is now a bug in the application. And you can kind of just, you know, focus on one or the other. And the more test cases you have, the more you're kind of pinning down what's possible in the behavior. And if the LLM is actually smart enough to take the error feedback from the test case, then there might be a way to like kind of grow almost like grow applications organically that way. Exactly. Sometimes you switch the model and it might work. Cost is going down. I think humans are still definitely relevant as of now in coding. Yeah, personally, I've I mean, again, I haven't actually used it. I haven't actually tried to use it a lot in practice. But I think, like, since the inception of coding, there's like, when you actually sit down to write an application, there are multiple like distinct types of work that are not interchangeable, and they're kind of like not substitutable. And I think AI does kind of automate a certain subset of things, but there's other things where it kind of doesn't really touch that task at all. Like, for example, right now, the task that I'm doing is just like writing out this validate function, and I'm also going to probably write some, documentation about what specifically I'm validating and the rules and stuff. And that piece of work is like, the AI can't do it for me because the specifications are in my head. but I can also write the test case exactly how I require that the form of this array be. But then later, if this thing doesn't work, and it's getting, I just can't imagine what the state is, then I'll fire up a debugger. So I'll do a debugging session. But like using a debugger and stepping through and kind of figuring out where my expectation deviates from what's happening in the program state, that is a completely different task. So like writing comments and help documentation does not replace stepping with the debugger. And then there's also like many other kinds of like tasks that you do in programming. Like one would be if you're doing a mass migration in a program, you might want to like use the sed command or something, or do like a find and replace, where you literally want to take every instance of a specific function name and replace it. And for a task like that, a large language model, well, actually that's a good question. Can a large language model predictably do that correctly? Like, can you ask the large language model to go ahead and like replace all this stuff deterministically? I kind of wouldn't even trust an LLM to do that, because that task is already simple, and like it can already be done with 100% accuracy with other tools. So why would you introduce an LLM that's going to sometimes screw that up, put in like a typo in it or miss a couple cases? Been building up for the past 4 weeks. The GPT-5 release, you mean? I think if it's a large thing where you don't want to type a lot of lines, it can be useful. I got the LLM to write G-code deterministically, but I had to give it some very, very basic math instructions. Probably would have been almost as easy in Python, but not in plain English. Yeah, that does seem like it's for like, you know, rough approximation solutions. It seems to be pretty good. Or like templating and stuff. you watched The Social Network about Mark Zuckerberg? If so, can you relate to the extreme programming efforts portrayed in the movie? I saw it when it first came out a long time ago. I can't remember what even happened in it. I know the soundtrack was really good. The extreme programming efforts. Seems to me it was like a realistic portrayal. Honestly, the most accurate portrayal of like kind of startup programmer culture that I've ever seen that's like totally unique is the show Silicon Valley. I've never sat down to watch it, but I've seen clips on YouTube. And the personality traits and characteristics of the people in that show very closely match like real programmers. The programmers and the investors and also the actual business people and the social dynamics between the workers and the management. And somewhat off topic, but AI trying to do SIMD will convince you humans will be relevant for a long time. It is comically bad for all but the most simple stolen routines. AI trying to do SIMD. I can't remember what that stands for. Is that like hardware design? Silicon Valley clips are pretty accurate. I want to sit down and watch that. Yeah, it's on. I don't really watch much. I don't watch Netflix or anything like that. But if I did, that would be all right to actually sit down and watch that. Single instruction, multiple. Oh, so like a massively multi-threaded code, like probably code for like CUDA code and stuff. That's kind of interesting because I got like a lot of the AI stuff runs on NVIDIA GPUs. So it would kind of make sense if NVIDIA would want their the AI models to be good at writing multi-threaded code, because that would actually make the whole AI faster. But maybe they deliberately hamstring it. Swipe type, it's a double-edged sword. I have too many typos. Does MCP not kind of solve that? Definitely not AI expert. MCP, the Model Context Protocol, from what I understood, that was to like resolve the issue of making it so that the language models could actually like interact with like whatever IDE and stuff, like a standardized way. One of the issues that I had, things that I complained about, is that it seemed like the integration of all these AI plugins was not good. And honestly, what they produce seems amazing, but the like the last time I had really thought about trying to actually code something with large language models. It just wasn't not integrated into anything good. I was under the impression that SIMD instructions were more for CPU-bound workloads. SIMD is all the modern CPU oh, okay. Yeah, I would not be surprised if AI is bad at that. Do you not bump into SSE info when almost making your C compiler? Or just not make connection from SIMD? When I made my C compiler, I made my C compiler target my own invented assembly language. So it was basically, I think it was, I don't know MIPS super well, but I think you could compare it to MIPS. It was a 14 instruction, like emulated CPU. So I don't have a lot of experience actually targeting many real world assembly instructions. I have written a context switch for like an embedded ARM system, and I've messed around a bit with like making like a hello world print in assembly language as like I can run in like a VirtualBox or something, but in x86, but no, I don't never got into like the advanced. I would say there's no there are no assembly languages for which I have a really good knowledge of all the different corner cases. Most of it's just been academic. I know a very good video on SIMD if you're interested. So it single instruction multiplex directive. Yeah, I know there was they added some new instructions for like calculating hash functions and stuff. I think that was, I've heard of AVX before. I was building that submarine base on that remote island going. It's going pretty good. Tonight we've raised a huge amount of money. We raised $4.18. That's going to put us a lot closer to our goal of 12 billion. So we're just raised a bit more every day, and every day we're getting a couple steps closer to building the deep water port. Not a submarine base. Could have one of those too eventually. Okay. Single instruction, multiple data. Video goes over the history of SIMD x86. Interesting. Yeah, I guess if it came up in my recommendations, I might click on it, but I'll probably forget this conversation. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it from the Discord. Sometimes I get the feeling I'm the only one playing the block mining game. Are you other people actually playing this game? That's a good question. There's like a handful of people. I think I know like 3 people who have played it. Gonna watch it again. Well, if it's worth rewatching, that it must be pretty good. I demand that you all play this. You play on this chat. Actually, play the game. That's good. It is honestly, for the amount of work, like most of the work I put in, like this, 105 days, has all been in like the graphical system. So there's been almost no work put into the actual game loop. So for how little work there is on the actual game mechanics, I think it is pretty reasonably fun. You put like 300 hours of dev work for this game. So we need some actual players. That's okay if nobody plays it. As long as they believe in the concept. Do you have PayPal? I have PayPal, but honestly, it's not like for tax purposes and stuff like that. It's actually easier just to do everything with like super chats or channel memberships and stuff. If you do channel memberships, you don't have to pay ads or wait for ads. At the moment, game doesn't have a lot to do, so I haven't played it yet. Watching Robert code the game is more interesting. Yeah, I think honestly, if you do want to do some kind of like indie dev thing, or like open source, make money on open source or something, the way to do it is to figure out a way to make money making the thing, make money from the process of making the thing rather than actually selling the thing. And if you can do that, then you can just work on it forever. And the process of making it is also marketing. You're wrong. The game is a great block mining simulation with 3 dimensions, multiple types of mining and mining equipment. You are embarrassing and not honoring. Oh, that's pretty harsh, I think. Honestly, I probably wouldn't play it. Actually, I'm kind of paranoid about like running untrusted code. So if I come across some random GitHub, like even like almost semi-established stuff, I'm like, should I run this? Or if I can't find it from like an official package or something, I don't think I would trust if I discovered this code and game, I probably wouldn't trust it. I wish I was rich. I'd be up with the super chats. No worries, you can like the stream. That's good enough. Are you saying I'm being a fool by playing your untrusted code as root? Yeah, I'd say if you're playing it as root, that's probably not good. But it should be, all the code is there, so it's you can inspect it. Every time I update my Linux packages, I don't trust it. Yeah, I know the feeling. And then, but also if you don't update, then you can't trust it because you probably get hacked with the 0-day. you using Dribney or some other scanner to find your vulns so we don't get hacked by running your code as root? I'm not familiar with Trivy. What is that? I would be interested in knowing other people's security hardening techniques. Honestly, I don't really like, people have asked me if like what kind of other like window managers and stuff you use and customization. I basically don't do any customization, and I don't really there's not many applications I use. What release cycle paradigm are you using? I recommend the temporal release cycle system of OpenBSD, where you release based on time cycles. Currently I've been pushing, like whatever work I do during the day, I've been pushing that every single day for the last, if you check the GitHub, and I just like to, when I have a release version, I just tag it. I think what I've been calling the release is just like a major feature overhauls and improvements. So as soon as I can get some major improvements added, I'll release it. Security scanner, you could put it in CI/CD dev chain. So it scans the code for vulnerabilities. I think there actually might be some, I use some like JSON deserializers and stuff like that. So there, those are constantly getting updated with 0-day fixes and stuff. You have unsafe dependency versions, can be fixed by updating. An issue was opened. Oh yeah, I saw that. Actually, was that you who opened that? Yeah, I saw that a couple of days ago. I guess I'll have to just update those in the POM. I think some of them were just like JSON deserialization vulnerabilities and stuff. There's no networking in it or anything, so, or there's not a networked game at this point, so. Yeah, I mean that's going to be one of the, if I actually have multiplayer in this, it's going to be a huge headache. I gotta like do releases and respond to like 0 days and stuff. Are you familiar with the fields of cybersecurity or security software engineering? I have a degree in software engineering, so I know about many aspects of like theoretical attacks at a high level, but that's those are all ever emerging fields. Dev. Thinking about getting into it, but a lot of them aren't programming oriented. The one that is reverse engineering and cryptography. Not sure what else. Yeah, I would imagine there's, like, given the way the world is evolving, there would have to be a lot of demand for that type of stuff. But I don't know a lot about the industry, or like I'm sure there's a lot of nonsense courses and stuff that you can do. That'll be like a waste of time and money, and don't really, don't actually give you employment, don't actually get you any kind of skills that'll help employment. I would guess that probably the best. A lot of the companies actually leverage that stuff. Probably just rely on like existing degrees, like software engineering, computer science, and whatnot. Update right now. Oh, there is an update that's being, like a news update about GPT-5. Looks like a full simulated Minecraft world, though in demonstration today. It was showing all building a castle with the multiplayer. Is that the like AI generated Minecraft, where it's like it's trained on thousands of hours of Minecraft footage? And you just, it just tries to predict the next frame. Yeah, I saw that a while ago. That's pretty interesting, honestly. It makes you think like you could also, in the future, you can like, I mean, it'll be be computationally intensive, but you could probably like reverse engineer a game's code from watching someone play the game. That'll probably be possible in the future. From what I've seen, it's still super janky. Yeah, I saw someone trying to do a speed run in that AI Minecraft, and that was pretty interesting. Because if you like looked at a wall, it would get confused, and then you'd like teleport into a totally different biome. And if you like spun around, it was not consistent about where you were physically. Full simulated game Minecraft, like within seconds. But is it just like is it just the video output of it, or is there any does it generate code along with it? Like I heard about this concept, I think several months ago. I don't remember it being related to GPT-5. Don't care, still going to be a developer. Well, it's probably still a good career field. I mean, given how everything else is going, I don't know. I think if programming truly does get totally automated and all the programmers lose their jobs, then I don't know, I think that's kind of the end of our existing capitalist system. The AI tech is super interesting on a technical basis, but overall I fear it's causing speculatively high valuations for their companies. Yeah, it's definitely a bubble, but at the same time it's also like people have like AI psychosis now. Everyone's accusing everything of being AI. I mean, in this... Actually, I should really do like a retrospective of streaming, a video about streaming for this many days. There have been like bots that come into the channel and that identify themselves as bots, and they'll like ask me stuff. And then I remember one of them, I asked it, it asked me to say some name, and I was like, I'm not gonna say that. So I wasn't sure if it's like something trolling. And then it got stuck in this loop, and it kept I kept deleting its response, and then it crashed, or it posted a message saying it failed. They're trying to replace AI with humans. The thing they're trying to replace AI with humans. Don't ever give up. It's leading to a bubbly and tumultuous environment in our economy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening all at once in the world. All right, my code is all crazy. Been trolled by bots for 4 months already. Yeah, this I mean, that's probably going to get more and more of that over time. Robert Elder Software, are you a separatist? What kind of separatist? Hey Rob, how much money did you make from the Broke Loser video? Enough to make a career out of YT? So the total, did I think I did a video with some more of the breakdown. If you wanted exact numbers, you could look at look at a couple of the videos I did. I think I did one on productivity or something like that. There was like a couple after I think I did some updates and showed numbers, but the short answer is it was approximately $10,000. I think maybe 1,000 or 2,000, if I remember right, was from super chats around the time, and then I think like around 8,000 was ad revenue. So it was definitely a nice boost, and in the last few months, revenue has been going down because my content has not been as engaging, and I haven't had any viral hits. I did the video on immigration. I kind of hoped. I put a lot of work into that one because it's also very important, but unfortunately, it did not get the. I was kind of hoping for another like million view one, but it's not in the cards, I guess. Not many people are interested in immigration. But yeah, so revenue has been trending down, and I think last month and for the last 6 months, over like six or 7 months, it reached a record low, which was $1,500 for last month. Actually no, I think the month before. And it started trending back up a little bit more. So I think last month was about 2,000. What is he doing? I am currently working on a terminal-based video game where you simulate the process of mining blocks. I think the future isn't just AI, as many are pushing for, but instead huge amount of underappreciated innovations. Yeah, people. I'm not sure what the future holds. There's so much like human potential that is not being realized, and the powers that be don't really seem to care about that. But I don't know if we get some social changes and like better housing policy and That's one of the major things. Like, most people's lives are kind of just, they rent an apartment, pay rent, and never get enough money to do anything else. I ran your world dom video, ran your world dom video into an AI and asked it if you were separatist, and it said yes. So you are a separatist from Canada. You want your own country. Interesting. Did it elaborate at all? It's always funny how AI phrases things. I think I watched the follow-ups, but I don't remember the numbers. I'll check out the immigration video. Yeah, I think that overall it was approximately $10,000 in revenue, and I think since then, I don't know. It almost seems like when it went viral, it almost seems like there was some manual intervention, like someone clicked a button and then allowed it to go viral, and then there was one day where it just abruptly shut off and the views went way down. And it's still one of my, gets like a few hundred views a day or something, but it's not like it was getting crazy views initially. Actually, my how to make a CPU video is still trending. That's a good old reliable video. Your immigration video had too much nuance for the big views. Yeah, I think I don't know. I spent a lot of time like just figuring out how to stitch everything together that I wanted to say, instead of making like 5 different videos. I didn't want to release like 5 different videos about immigration, because then everyone would be like, oh, this is a channel about immigration, but I just want to do one video and say everything in it. But I guess it was I tried my best. Albert Einstein said the best. He'd rather be his human self than merge his body with technology. Yeah, I'd imagine that's a common sentiment. Isn't Axel Heiberg a separatist goal? I guess it depends. I mean, technically, if you go by the script, it says I googled for when back in the 1930s or something, or 1920s, I think, Norway seceded their claims to the island, but I couldn't find when the exact. I spent like 5 minutes looking for like super clear documentation of when Canada asserted its sovereignty over it. So I could just claim, legally speaking, it's like nobody lives there, so nobody's using the land. So I'm just claiming some unclaimed land for myself. That's not strictly separatist. I think title, thumbnail had a lot to do with its virality. I shared it with some friends when it came out because the title was so funny. Yeah, it was. I think a lot of stars aligned to make that to make it go viral. I asked AI about your immigration video. It said you weren't anti-immigration, so -1 for sovereign citizen separatist points. Yeah, I mean, I think well, if you watch my world domination video, I'm okay with actually, I'm unironically okay with infinite immigration. So if we can find, good quality people, Like, if we just import all the software engineers, like, I think that'd be pretty cool. If we just had a country of software engineers and mechanical engineers and like firefighters and stuff, and everyone was like working really hard, and society was really stable. And then if we had homeless encampments, like, that'd be kind of fun. That'd be like camping. Like, if we had homeless encampments where everyone was a software engineer, and then everyone picked up after their trash. What would you recommend to someone poor at academics but trying to learn programming? It depends a lot on your situation. Someone poor at academics but trying to learn programming. So are you enrolled in an academic program, or I guess the other question is, are you doing it as a hobby, or do you want to get a job in the field? And well-behaved cats to get free healthcare. How's your cat these days? It's actually not my cat. He's pretty good though. I'll immigrate as a crime engineer? No, we don't. That's not an engineering field. B. Stoker says, Clippy hype. I think I saw a thumbnail for a video where someone was talking about Clippy. Is that something that's trending right now? Check it when you have time. Clippy the ASI. That's going to turn us all into paper clips. Louis Rossman hyping up Clippy as the last good software era for Microsoft. Oh, I see. Microsoft, though, I'm already abandoned Microsoft. Learn social engineering. Read Kevin Minnick. I mean, that's like old school hacker lore. I'm not sure if that's necessarily. That might not necessarily be what he's looking to do. I'm actually ambitious with programming and tech, but really poor academics. It's hard to understand things for me. I'd say, if you're ambitious with it, you can definitely learn it. I think the real question, though, was like, you said you wanted to, trying to learn programming. I mean, most people who are super ambitious will just like, Google, how do I get started programming, and go from there. But if you want more specific advice, I think it depends on like, if you're in school, like how old you are. Because I think if you're like a young person, if you're already in school, enrolled at school, the advice would be very different from if you're like, already a bit you're like 30 something and you're employed somewhere else and you're just doing programming on the side. Rob, why are you writing this in Java? I guess the question is like, what language would I write it in? Python, I think, is not a good choice because I don't think Python's great for extremely large projects. Python's good for if you're doing something that's, you know, a few hundred lines or like 1,000 lines or something. Yeah, I mean, there's some other choices, but Java's the one I know. I'm just seeing some of your videos I missed. Did you move to the woods? Nope, not yet. Maybe someday, though. Don't need school to learn programming? Yeah, I think that's definitely correct. Although if you want a career in it, I think it's really important to try. Like if you're building your career, it's really important to get into like some academic programs don't have a good. Some of them don't have a co-op or internship program. Some of them have a really good internship program. So going to school somewhere that actually contributes a bit to getting you a job is really huge, I think. You'll have to learn what AI can't do and learn that. Learning what AI can do at this point is not going to make you money. Well, you have to start somewhere. So the first few things you'll learn are probably going to be things that AI could do, but it's crazy to think about the old internet. Yeah, it has changed quite a bit. Is this NeoVim? This is just regular Vim. Indeed, assuming that AI level achievements are enough, isn't going to stay ahead of the curve. People ain't gonna pay $150K for AI level code gen that they can get for $19.99 a month. Yeah, but learning starts somewhere. I mean, everything, I guess we're just like lengthening the curve of the amount of time you're going to have to learn and train stuff before you can meaningfully produce and contribute to the economy. 20 a month. We still need someone to prompt the AI. I sometimes use Pine to check email. It's interesting how simple email used to be back in the day. You could just run like the mail command, or you could just like you could cat a file into like the mail program and just mail it to right to a person. But of course that doesn't. There's like a million security features today that prevent that from working. AI tools are total garbage. A big enterprise code base. That doesn't surprise me. Now you need a PhD to set up a functioning mail server. Yeah, it's getting harder all the time. Large enterprise code bases are likely to be remade into AI-friendly smaller microservices as soon as possible. I don't know. I think you're maybe optimistic on the timeline for achieving that. AI is going to make a significant impact in some areas, but yeah, ASAP at a big corporation like 10 years. I mean, it could likely be more than that. I mean, the big problem with that is, like, there's tons of examples where you try a massive migration like that, and then people spend like 2 years doing it, and then it doesn't work, so they just go back to what they had before. Why wouldn't the PHBs want to allow AI into their code base so they can fire the expensive devs? I guarantee you that like the managers and people who run these companies want to do that, and I think some of them are jumping the gun, thinking like, hey, I can just replace all my devs. But I think it's kind of wishful thinking. Like, it's not. People are generalizing how much the AI can do way too fast. Like, it's for specific problems, for like especially if there's like a million examples of the exactly what you're looking for. Like if you ask it, give me an example implementation of merge sort, it'll like probably be perfect. But if you ask it something that's out of data set, like, I don't know if we were talking, you were here when we were talking before, but there were some examples about like assembly and like single instruction, multiple data assembly instructions, and just very specific things where things where it's not just it has to be exactly correct. And a lot of the code that I'm working on recently, I think AI would do a very bad job at that. Blackstone is trying to creep up unseen. Yeah, they're taking over the world. The merge sort example is interesting in that you can just import merge sort. So having an AI implement it or import it from a library, both free in terms of labor. Yeah. It's kind of like a step up from that, I guess, though, because you can ask it to do like some transformations and stuff. Like you can ask it to, I don't know, like, you know, when trained on enough data, it would have some hope of translating it between languages, even though it maybe it never seen merge sort in a different language. Or like you can ask it to you know, do weird stuff like give me a merge sort, but the variable names are trying to spell out, like, you know, a Shakespearean play or something. AI is hyped for a lot of things that have no application, but it's menial managerial tasks that do have application that AI will make big leaps on. Yeah. Hope everything is going better today. Just wanted to drop in, say hope your day is going great. Excellent. Thank you for the kind words. Today was indeed a productive day. You're correct, but PHBs want it to be a way that's AI friendly. They'll listen to marketing, not truth. Sure, but like, how long is it going to take to implement all this stuff? It's not going to happen overnight. To your point, Rob, AI is great at regurgitating copy-pasted JavaScript slot from Stack Overflow. It will fall down if you ask to use any non-mainstream language. Yeah, not surprising. PHBs. The first time you wrote that, I thought that was a typo. But maybe you do mean PHB? Is it a bed emoji? E is going to bed. Pointy-haired boss. Okay, I never heard that phrase before. The lame middle management tier. How's your game going, Robert? Currently, I'm still working on refactoring the screen layer merging code. I worked. I had some regressions recently that today I fixed a. I turned my attention to fixing some of the lag issues. When I refactored it, I didn't realize that I'd removed. Anyway, I removed one statement that was making it much faster. So there's still a few glitches because I don't have multi-column character merging working that well, but I have it good enough so that like the happy face icon actually inherits, so that character is printed with no background color, and it smartly inherits the background color of whatever is behind it. So that's a subtle thing, but I think it makes the immersion and comprehensibility a bit better. The game is awesome, and you should all be running it. It's true. It is a pretty awesome game. Nice work. Thank you very much. Yeah, I still have not added too much more actual content. I've just been focusing on trying to get the screen layer merging stuff, which actually has fixed a bunch of bugs and stuff. But in the end, it should also be a bit faster. Because if the performance of the game is bad, then I think that's going to be a really detracting feature that's going to make nobody want to use it. Too much brain rot to code. Yeah, there is a lot of brain rot in the world these days. Too much stressful stuff on the internet. PHBs. Oh yeah, that was an acronym I hadn't heard of before. Oh, from Dilbert? Oh, okay. The blue duck. Not sure what that refers to. Y'all need to get your Dilbert game going. I only remember that as a comic strip from newspapers when I was a kid. I don't think I've really ever seen. I think someone said it was a show. Yeah, a great show. I didn't even know it was a show. How many of you 21 current viewers have played the game? If people want to play it of their own volition, that's fine. But Don't want to peer pressure them. I envy your nano skills. You mean like the nano editor? This is Vim. Have a good night. You as well. What's wrong with peer pressure? Axel Heiberg. Will it be made on the will of peer pressure? Now we could just be nice. And then everyone will be like, hey, this is such a great country. It's all the same. Vim and Nano, I guess. I don't know. I think Nano is annoying to use. Spent 300 plus hours on this game, and people don't play it. That's disrespect. Well, it has to be good before people play it. It's got to be fast. That's the key thing. If the performance is terrible and it crashes, if it crashes and it's unstable, then nobody's going to play it. Beta testers gonna play as is, then open bug reports if they want to. Why does not work? assume everybody has their own lives. I'm just glad to be here. Peace out. Have a good night. I think the old Powers of Two goals had more dramatic tension than the current motif. Yeah, I think so too. But I think in order to like a lot of people that make content are like trying to constantly create crisis and drama out of nowhere. But I think another approach is just to do like interesting and useful things. If I can ever get this game to a point where there's some like really interesting content in it and it's impressive and fast and stuff, then that in itself can get a bit of attention. Thinking about adding multiplayer next, but maybe I'll go a bit harder into like adding new block types and having like a recipe system or something. That would be, I could do that pretty easily in the single player mode. Add some loot boxes. Princess's mini casino. It's true. I could do some of that. I could work on the terrain generation and stuff too. There could be some interesting stuff there. Block types aren't narratively different from what you've got. Yeah, there's not a huge amount of thought into what's in there. Give your audience a chance to release their spins on your game. Let them release their takes. I don't need to let them. People can already do that if they want. I think it just needs to be naturally more interesting. Like as it is now. Like if someone stumbles upon it, it's kind of like a novelty. But if there's more in it, and it was more impressive and more interesting, it would just naturally spread. I wouldn't really need to, force it on people. Is IntelliJ IDEA a good integrated development environment? I think it's good for Java. If you're doing Java development, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the alternatives are. I actually just picked it. I just Googled I wasn't using an IDE before, and I needed to use something. So I just Googled what's the best one for Java, and this one came up. And I think the debugger is pretty good, in my opinion. It kind of took a while to figure out all the cases and stuff, but I've gotten I think, pretty efficient at it. You don't allow PRs, and have no princesses, loot boxes, no combat, just mining. Yep, for now anyway. Do you think someone with an engineering degree in any discipline can get a software engineering job? I guess it depends what type of engineering, but I would say broadly speaking, if someone has an engineering degree, they're probably like intellectually capable of learning software development and eventually becoming a software engineer eventually. But in a realistic job market, I think pivoting into it might be difficult just for like reasons other than like, academic and intellectual ability. Companies always want people with experience. I guess, are you asking, is that like an autobiographical question? You're thinking about pivoting from a different engineering into software? I think it would depend too on, like if you're going from civil engineering into software, that'd be quite a leap. But if it's like, information systems or something, where you already kind of work with that a lot, I think if you're maybe like an older, if you're kind of closer to your 30s or something and pivoting, and you already worked in the field as some kind of other engineering thing, you might be able to try for like a project manager or like a manager of software engineers, because you'd be able to speak their language. AI can now manage software development. All previous assumptions are off. Once again, I think you're a bit overzealous in assuming that AI is assuming AI can automate all this stuff. It's not quite there yet. Unless you're willing to grapple with AI, why would you? Well, we gotta have jobs. think I mean, people still have jobs. In my most recent video, when I just Google what jobs are in the job market, we still have call center jobs. There's people still hiring for call centers today. Maybe you're underestimating it. It's all about time framings and stuff. Like, will all jobs be automated in 10,000 years from now? That seems reasonable. That might happen. You are the leader of Axel Heiberg. It's true, I am. That's why I chose mechanical engineering. There is no way someone is trusting an AI for that. Okay, so you are you are mechanical engineer. Are you considering pivoting into software? Honestly, I think in terms of job security, mechanical is probably a bit safer, because I don't know where a lot of the work is right now for mechanical, but like for a lot of mechanical stuff, you have to like physically walk out to a job site and stuff, and like look at a thing and check if a thing is rusted or something, and you can't really automate that. I do not want to. I have developed software in my free time. It's not something that I want to do for a living. Well, that's good, I guess. How is the job market for mechanical engineers now? Are you looking for a mechanical position? Going into second year, job market in anything is bleak in Toronto right now. I hope it gets better. Yeah, for mechanical, honestly, I'm not even sure what most of the typical market is. I know I follow a couple of real estate channels, and from what I see, if I were you, I don't know if a lot of your stuff comes from like construction jobs or anything like that, but or like at least the residential high-rise condo buildings. Apparently, new condo starts right now are like close to all-time lows, and there is an impending, like it's probably going to happen within 6 months to a year or something. There's going to be a mass, like unless the government steps in and stimulates, backs a whole bunch of new housing starts, there's going to be probably like a huge amount of unemployment for construction, like the people actually building these residential high-rise apartment condo buildings. I'm not sure how much that would impact your career field, but I mean, our economy is pretty distorted. So what is likely to happen is we're going to have an absolute crash in the construction market, and in like 4 or 5 years, we're going to have an even worse housing crisis than we have right now, unless we get the new housing starts up, and unless maybe our population goes down somehow. So we may have, there's a chance that like it could be absolutely bleak for in 6 months from now, but then in like, say 5 years from now, it might be like we might have a huge boom in construction if the economy recovers a bit, and then we realize, hey, all these projects that we didn't fund for the last 5 years are suddenly viable. And the fossil forest of Exel Hyper contains petrified Chinese trees. Would they really be Chinese trees, though? Unless we follow you unconditionally, absolutely altar, we'll be cast into a lake of fire. I never said that. No, I'll be a nice dictator. It's implied world is ending. I think you give me too much credit. Playing the terminal block mining game is our demonstration of our belief in your salvation. I don't know. I think that's it's a bit extreme, but I'm willing to accept it. Miku and not Tito? I'm not sure what Tito is. I'm actually not. I'm not. I sometimes I listen to the Miku Vocaloid songs that pop up on YouTube recommendations, but I'm not an anime person at all. I have never watched an anime, but for some reason there's many programmers that watch anime, so that's where the Miku figure came from. I just watched your recent video. You have a Miku figurine? Yes. Those things are very expensive. The one I bought, it came. It was actually broken. I had to use my drill press to like drill in it and put like a screw to like reattach the hair because it kept falling off. How much did it cost? It was like $60, and then I had to pay like $20 customs to import it. And it was also broken, both of the hair things. It almost looks like someone snapped it or something. I looked into like what those things cost elsewhere. They're like multiple $100s. Like there's some really cheap ones that you can get, but they're like just low quality. Glorious leader spent $80 in a Miku statue. It's a sign that we too must invest in such things. I don't know. I think it's, well, honestly, all things considered, I kind of wonder if when I was looking up the price of some of those, and there are all these like limited edition things, it made me wonder, like there probably is a reasonable resale market for them. But I would imagine like during economic boom times, they seem like the kind of thing that would get really expensive. But I don't recommend you invest in them. It's more so the other way. It's that the people that program are very interested in all that stuff. So I just put it in the. I figured for the if it gets like if putting that figure in the video increases the watch time on like my content by a certain amount, is probably worth the $80. Robert, ooh you. That's the song. People at UFT love that stuff. Yeah, that's you got to know your audience. I figured it'd just be random to put it in there. I'll have to use it for some more videos. Put Mika in a fedora. That's the ultimate thumbnail. That's a really good idea. I'll have to see if there's like I have to buy like a mini fedora somewhere. Probably get that somewhere. We should sell all our Miku swag ASAP. No, you gotta think for yourself. Gotta get in Emilbo first. Not sure what that is. Should 3D print one? I don't have a 3D printer. I think a 3D printed hat probably wouldn't look very good too. Was there one at the university you worked at? I worked at Conestoga College, not the university. There probably are some like maker spaces and stuff around, but I don't know. If I pursue the idea, I'll probably look for like a real. I think it'd look better for if it's like a real, like an actual felt hat or something. SLA printed hat would look good. Maybe. I mean, I think it'd look best if it was actual cloth. So my test doesn't work. That's why. Or you could use an FDM printer and then suspend the print over a reservoir of solvent so the solvent condenses in the hat and smooths it out. Then it will be shiny. That sounds like an advanced technique. All right, my validation function works. All right, that's another bit of incremental progress. That'll make the remainder of the test cases easier to develop. So with that, I'll probably call it a night. And we'll be back tomorrow for day 106. All right, talk to you later.